Bonjour. Okay, so this is an ed puzzle to help you review for the Unit 3 test that you'll be taking in a few classes. So first of all, this is Vocab 10, and you all have that. And I always think it's a good idea to have your reference sheets out when you're doing an ed puzzle or a Google form, unless it's a test. So just as a review, you have all the days, months, seasons, and some important words here, useful words. And on the back, it shows you how to do the date. And remember, you use le, then the number in French, and then the month. So they do it a little differently than we do. And here are some example questions, right? Okay. So to review, les jours de la semaine. I have a little smiley here to remind me to tell you that the week in French starts with lundi. So they consider their week beginning on Monday, where on our calendars it looks like Sunday's the first day of the week. So here we go, just to hear them again. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche. All right, and don't forget that avant equals before, après equals after. Okay? So here's a sample question. Quel jour est avant mercredi? So again, avant equals before, après equals after. So quel jour est avant mercredi? Mardi is before mercredi. So you got to make sure you remember avant is before and après is after. Quel jour est après mercredi? Dimanche, vendredi, jeudi, lundi. And the answer is jeudi. Okay, so here's a star. So that means you're going to answer this one in your ed puzzle. Quel jour est après vendredi? Mardi, samedi, jeudi, mercredi. Quel jour est avant lundi? Mardi, mercredi, samedi, dimanche. All right, here is a review of the months of the year, les mois de l'année. And can you guess why there's 3 smiley faces here next to these months? It's because there are accent marks on those. Okay, so here we go. And also notice that they're all lowercase to start. Same thing with the days. So I'm just going to say them for you. Janvier, février, mars, avril, mai, juin, juillet, août, septembre, octobre, novembre, décembre. In a sample question, quel mois est après octobre? Novembre, septembre, avril, mars. So après is after. Novembre. Quel mois est avant septembre? Do you remember what avant means? Before. So janvier, octobre, août, mars. Août is before septembre. All right, here's one for your ed puzzle. Quel mois est après mai? Octobre, juin, mars, avril. Quel mois est avant janvier? Juillet, décembre, février, septembre. Okay, here are les saisons de l'année, the seasons of the year. L'hiver, le printemps, l'été, l'automne. Remember, you pronounce the N there. There's a ton of leaves in l'automne. All right. And there's a smiley here because of the accents on l'été. And also, do you see how these are L apostrophe, and L apostrophe? It's because those words start with a vowel or H, which is silent, so it's like a vowel. Le printemps is the only one that doesn't have L apostrophe because a P is a consonant, not a vowel. All right, I found this to show you guys that the months can fall into different categories. And meteorological means like the weather. So fall is considered September, October, November, like for when you think of like fall weather, September, October, November. But the official start to fall is September 22nd, and it goes all the way to December 20th. But doesn't December seem like it's winter? So this is like the official dates of fall. But what we normally consider winter would be December, January, and February because it's really cold in the winter. So the weather reports, this is from a weather station, considers winter December, January, and February. But these are the official dates of winter. Same thing for spring, March, April, May. But the official dates are March 20th through June 20th. And summer, June, July, August. But again, the official dates, June 21st through September 21st. So when I ask a question about like what season is a certain month in, I'm not going to try to be tricky and pick the one that has like half and half. I'm going to pick one right in the middle. Okay. So here's a sample question of a season. Quelle saison est après le printemps? So après means after. So after spring would be l'été, summer. Quelle saison est avant l'hiver? So what becomes before winter? L'été, l'hiver, le printemps, l'automne. And they're all mixed up, so don't think about that order. L'automne is before l'hiver. Okay. Quelle saison est avant l'automne? And again, they're mixed up. L'été, l'hiver, le printemps, l'automne. And then we have, this is why I showed you that slide with the seasons. En quelle saison est avril? So in which season is April? Le printemps, l'été, l'automne, l'hiver. So April falls right in the middle of spring. All right. En quelle saison est octobre? Le printemps, l'été, l'automne, l'hiver. So in what season is October? So that's right in the middle of l'automne. So here's one for the Ed puzzle. En quelle saison est juillet? Le printemps, l'été, l'automne, l'hiver. All right, now we're going to do a review of the holidays, les fêtes. So fête can mean party, but also can mean holiday. So these are holidays that we have here. And I did them in order of the calendar year. Le jour de l'an is New Year's Day, the day of the year. And that's always on le 1er janvier. So remember, you don't say le 1 janvier, you say le 1er janvier. So that is New Year's Day. Le jour de l'an. La fête des rois is that special holiday that they celebrate in France, the holiday of kings or Epiphany. And that is always le 6 janvier. So the holiday of kings, la fête des rois. And they celebrate with this really special cake and everything. And if you get the little piece, the little fève in your piece of cake, you get to be the king or queen for the day. So it's a really fun holiday that they celebrate in France. La Salle Valentine. All right, le 14 février. So Valentine's Day. They don't use the word day in this. They just call it la Saint Valentin. La Saint Patrick, le 17 mars. So again, they don't use the word day, jour, in this holiday. They just call it la Saint Patrick. Le Poisson d'Avril, le 1er avril. So the fish of April. So it's kind of fun that they put a fish on someone's back to like be like a joke, kind of like a kick me sign or something we would do here. So they call it the fish of April. We call it April Fool's Day, the 1st of April, le 1er avril. Pâques, that means Easter. All right. So en mars ou en avril, always a dimanche. So it's either in March or April. It changes every single year. So in this year, 2022, it is le 17 avril. All right. Next year in 2023, it'll be a different date. So it's always on a Sunday, though, always on a dimanche. La fête des mères, the holiday of mothers, and we call it Mother's Day. It's always le deuxième, the second, dimanche en mai, the second Sunday in May. This year, cette année, it is le 8 mai. La Fête des Pères, the holiday of dads or Father's Day. It's always le troisième dimanche en juin. And this year, cette année, it's le 19 juin. So the third Sunday in June. La Fête Nationale Américaine is the American national holiday. So we call it Independence Day, and sometimes we just call it the 4th of July. So it's le 4 juillet. And in France, it's 10 days after ours. It's not the same year, though. The American one is 1776. The French one was 1789. So 13 years later, they had their independence from their king. So the French national holiday is le 14 juillet. And they do very similar things as we do with fireworks and that. They like to have a nice long meal with their families on the 14th of July. And there's a lot of dancing in the streets. It's a really big deal in France. La rentrée, you might not really consider a holiday, but it's back to school. So they call it la rentrée. So if you were going school shopping for all your school supplies, and you know how like if it would say a Target or Walmart or one of those stores, it would say back to school, like section, theirs would say la rentrée in their store, and then you would get your school supplies there. So au début de septembre means at the beginning of September. So the debut of something in English means the first of something, like a debut of a film or of a play. So in French, that is the word for the beginning. So au début de septembre means at the beginning of September is back to school. Le jour de grâce, the day of thanks, is le dernier jeudi en novembre, the last Thursday in November. Le 24 novembre cette année. And remember, in France, they do not celebrate this holiday. It's very American with the pilgrims and everything. So they kind of made this wording up for our holiday. Le jour de grâce. Le dernier jeudi en novembre. So always on a jeudi. Remember, Black Friday is when you go shopping after Thanksgiving. All right. Le réveillon de Noël is the awakening of Christmas, or we call it Christmas Eve. So réveillon means the awakening. And the word for alarm clock is called a réveil matin. So réveil means to wake up. So you're waking up to Christmas. It's Christmas Eve. Le 24 décembre. Okay, so you got to remember the word Eve is right in this word, right? So réveillon is eve of Christmas. Noël is le 25 décembre. And we see the word Noel a lot in our culture. We see like some songs and that. You might see like people's decorations. They might say Noel. I even know some kids named Noel, that their name means Christmas. So it's always le 25 décembre. And our last one of the year, the last day of the year, le réveillon de nouvel an, the awakening or the eve of the new year. Nouvel means new. The awakening of the new year. Le réveillon de nouvel an. And it's always le 31 décembre. So the 31st of December. All right. And you know that this is culture 3, which the back of it, which would have all of these holidays listed there. And at the bottom, it tells you what days of the week those certain ones fall on. Oh, I didn't mention Mardi Gras in those last slides, but Mardi Gras means Fat Tuesday, right? And it's a holiday that they celebrate in France with parades and stuff like that, but especially in New Orleans. So on Sunday, there's Pâques, which is Easter, La Fête des Mères, Mother's Day, La Fête des Pères, Father's Day. Mardi Gras always happens on a mardi. That makes sense. And Le Jour de Grâce, Thanksgiving, is always on a jeudi. So we're trying to remind you of that at the bottom there. Okay, here's a question. En quel mois est l'Halloween? Now, l'Halloween wasn't on that list because it's a very American holiday. So Septembre, Octobre, Novembre, Décembre, it would be Octobre. So you all know that Halloween's in October. En quel mois est la fête des mères? Mars, Avril, May, Juin. So hopefully you remember Mother's Day is in May. All right, here's a question for the Ed Puzzle. En quel mois est la fête nationale américaine? Juillet, juin, novembre, janvier. En quel mois est le jour de grâce? So which holiday do you say grace at for sure? Novembre, août, décembre, février. Quel jour de la semaine? What day of the week est la fête des pères? Samedi, lundi, dimanche, mercredi. So remember, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and Easter are always on a dimanche. Quel jour de la semaine est le jour de grâce? Dimanche, jeudi, samedi, vendredi. Quel jour de la semaine est Pâques? Dimanche, jeudi, samedi, vendredi. Quelle est la date de Noël? Le 4 juillet, le 31 mars, le 25 décembre, le 6 janvier. So hopefully you all know that Christmas is December 25th. All right, quelle est la date du jour de l'an? So you got to remember what holiday jour de l'an is. Le 1er janvier, le 31 mars, le 24 décembre, le 14 juillet. Quelle est la date de la fête des rois? Remember the holiday of kings. Le 1er avril, le 31 octobre, le 14 mai, le 6 janvier. Quelle est la date du réveillon de Noël? Le 24 décembre, le 31 décembre, le 14 février, le 17 mars. So remember, it's the eve of Christmas. Le 24 décembre. Quelle est la date du réveillon du Nouvel An? Ce réveillon du Nouvel An. Le 17 mars, le 31 décembre, le 14 février, le 24 décembre. Quelle est la date du Poisson d'avril? Le 1er janvier, le 6 janvier, le 15 avril, le 1er avril. Quelle est la date de la fête nationale française? Le 4 juin, le 14 juin, le 4 juillet, le 14 juillet. Okay, last part of this unit is the weather. Quel temps fait-il? Means what's the weather like? All right, il fait beau. It's nice out. Il fait mauvais. It's bad out. Il fait chaud. It's hot out. And remember, there's an H right there to remind you it's hot. Il fait frais. It's cool out. It's fresh, right in the middle. Like not hot, not cold. Il fait froid. It's cold out. Froid looks like frigid or freezing. Il fait du soleil. It's sunny out. Solar has to do with the sun. Soleil. Il fait du vent. So that's windy. And a vent blows out wind. Il fait du brouillard. It's foggy. Remember my first ed puzzle I talked about, is it foggy? Oui. Yes, it's foggy. Il fait du brouillard. It's kind of silly, but hopefully you remember that. So nice long word for fog. Il neige as it snows. All right. So il neige, or it is snowing. So you can catch a snowflake on your tongue. Il neige. Catch it on that tongue. Il pleut. 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 It's raining. So that's how I remember that one. All right. 3 ways to say cloudy. Remember I had this little joke about my little pet cloud. Il y a des nuages. There are clouds. Il est nuageux. It is cloudy. Il fait gris. It's gray out. So my little pet cloud named Nuage. Il y a un orage et il y a une tempête. So remember my joke about the storm. There's oranges and a trumpet in the storm because this looks like orange and this looks like trumpet. So il y a un orage, il y a une tempête. There is a storm. Just 2 different ways to say it. Il y a du tonnerre et des éclairs. There is thunder and lightning bolts. So tonnerre is thunder, a ton of thunder. And des éclairs are lightning bolts, like that French pastry. They look long and coming from the sky. Il y a un arc-en-ciel. There's a rainbow. And we played that game arc-en-ciel in class. Arc in the sky. So ciel means sky. All right, then I have my 3 ones that are kind of like expressions. Il fait un temps de chien. It's dog weather out. It's nasty out. Il fait un froid de canard. It's as cold as a duck. I love that one. It's so funny. Il pleut des cordes. It's raining ropes. So we say it's raining cats and dogs. They say it's raining ropes. Il pleut des cordes. Okay, and just as a reminder, Chicago is known as the Windy City. So if there's a question about what's the weather like in Chicago, it's windy. And London is known for fog. All right, there's this big thing in history about the smog and fog in London back in the 50s. So when I ask what's the weather like in London, say it's foggy. All right, and then you have your vocab 11 with all the weather on it. You can use it as a reference. All right, here's a sample question. Quel temps fait-il en juillet? Il fait chaud, il fait très froid, il neige beaucoup, il fait frais. So which one would be the best for July? Il fait chaud. It's hot in July. Not very cold, not snows a lot, and not cool out. It's really hot in July. So pick the one that makes the most logical sense. Quel temps fait-il en hiver? Il pleut souvent, il pleut un peu, il fait froid, il fait chaud. Souvent means often. Un peu means a little bit. So, en hiver. Quel temps fait-il en avril? Il fait très chaud, il fait très froid, il neige beaucoup, il pleut beaucoup. Beaucoup means a lot. You know what they say about April? It brings May flowers. What does it do in April? Quel temps fait-il en été? Il fait mauvais, il fait du soleil, il pleut, il neige. So the one you think of most in été. Quel temps fait-il à Londres? There's that city. Il fait du brouillard, il fait chaud, il fait du vent, il y a un orage. So remember, London's known as the foggy city. Quel temps fait-il à Chicago? Il fait beau. That's a mistake. Sorry. Il fait beau, il fait du soleil, il fait du vent, il y a un arc-en-ciel. So Chicago's known as a something city. Quel temps fait-il au Canada en janvier? So remember, Canada's north of us, right? Il fait beau. Again, sorry about that. Il fait du soleil. Il neige beaucoup. Il fait chaud. So in Canada in January. Okay, that's it. I hope this helped you review for the Unit 3 test. Au revoir.